Good morning, guys. I hope everyone had a great weekend. And I hope you enjoyed your week in trade. Actually, I would love to hear what you guys are working on in trade. So that's a part of how you're going to respond today. I want you to tell me what the assignments for the week are. And I also want you to tell me what you did last week with your trade. I think that'd be really interesting to hear what you're working on from home. So this week we're going to start the graphic novel Mouse. This is actually a recommendation from Miss Hellickson. I hadn't read it before, but I really like it. It's very interesting. It's very different. I've never taught a graphic novel before. And this one in particular is interesting because I believe it's the first nonfiction graphic novel, and it's won many awards, including the Pulitzer Prize. Something else I like about it, I've read different novels and books about World War II and the Holocaust. This is also different because the main character is not 100% likable. There's things that he did that were questionable, and I think that makes it real. He did some things, the family did some things to survive that kind of like took me back a little bit. They had money, which made their experience unique. And they had many resources that I think you don't usually hear that side of things. It's just another perspective, and it seems honest. So I'm going to talk to you about your assignments and also about the book. So you'll see a document attached that says Intro to Mouse, and it's going to have some vocabulary, some pictures, some maps to help you through the first 4 chapters. I'm also going to try to post me reading the chapters. I love reading aloud and talking about books, and I know some of you appreciate that. You don't have to watch my videos. You can read it on your own. There's also an audiobook on YouTube. I don't love it, but you might like it. All right, so the assignments for this week, you're going to read the first 4 chapters, and it might seem like a lot of pages, but it's completely written like a graphic novel, so I don't think it would be too much. You're going to have 2 quizzes, so I'll post 1 quiz on the first 2 chapters, and then a second quiz on chapters 3 and 4. And then you'll also have 1 written response, and that all of that will be due completely on Friday. Okay, and we'll have 2 Google Meets. I'll try. I haven't had the best luck with Google Meets. It's probably my internet connection, but I will try to have 2 Google Meet sessions on Tuesday and Thursday at 12, and we can talk about the book or talk about assignments or life or anything. So, and on that note, anytime we have a Google Meet, it's always Rowsome09 for you guys. If I accidentally put 10, 10 is for sophomores, and 09 is for the freshmen. Okay, so that's the code you'll use on Google Meet, and I will post those links for you on Tuesday and Thursday. All right, so I'm going to try to get fancy now and walk through kind of the guide that I made for you. It'll take me 1 second. Intro to Mouse. All right. Hopefully that's working for you. Okay, so the first page, hopefully you're seeing what I'm seeing. The first page is Intro to Mouse, how to read a graphic novel or comic. So I know this says comic, but the way you're going to read it is very similar. And it just kind of breaks up the parts down for you. So you have panels, word balloons, and you see the edge kind of points to who's speaking. These things here that look like clouds, that's what people are thinking. The characters are thinking, not saying. The gutters are those kind of little alleys, the spaces between the panels. Splash panels are large images that take up most or all of a page, like a big close-up, something important. The captions are important. So the captions here, the squares. in this novel, they're very important because they are telling you the location, the year, and they're giving you some kind of context for the scene. Sound effects are usually drawn visually to represent the volume and feeling of a sound. So, yeah, so they're bigger if they're louder, basically. And this is super important. It says slow down and read both the text and the pictures. And that's something I wanted to point out to you guys, that the pictures in a graphic novel are just as important as the text, especially this novel, well, any graphic novel. You can see there's so much detail drawn in. You're going to be making inferences. The text is important, and you could understand it if you just looked at the text, but you really would be missing out. There's so much detail drawn in, and you're having to infer because they're not telling the story in complete detail. They're leaving a lot out for you to kind of figure out, and those images help you to do that. So spend as much time with the pictures as you do the text. And in case you're curious, what's the difference between a graphic novel and a comic, and or a novel? So novels would tell a whole story, beginning to end, okay, and they're longer. A comic is usually just little parts. There's series, so it's like a little piece of a story, okay? So you see volume, edition, all that in the corner. It's one little piece of a story, and they're put out periodically, okay? Maybe once a month or so, or once a week. A graphic novel is kind of the middle ground. It is in the comic style, but it tells a complete story. And this book actually is both parts, okay? So they did come in 2 parts that we're going to try to get through if we can. So that's the difference. You would read it like a comic book, but it tells a complete story. And you're going to, you know, make inferences, look at characterization, just like you would with a novel. All right. So, and then if we scroll down a little bit, I thought this is important. So visual metaphors and mouse. So you'll notice that this is also unique in that the characters are animals. The Jewish people are portrayed as mice, and you'll see in this chart, it kind of says innocent, weak, hunted by the cats, regarded as vile or dirty. So that kind of, we can imagine that during the Holocaust. The Germans are portrayed as cats. It says vicious predators, cunning and stealthy. They hunt the mice, okay? And then you have the dogs, and the dogs are the Americans. And who wouldn't want to be portrayed as a dog? They're man's best friend, loyal, protective, helpful, fun, chase the cats away. So one important thing that this chart here is missing, I had found this one, is that the Polish people were portrayed as pigs. I'm kind of surprised I left that off of that chart. So I added a little piece here. The story is taking place in Poland. That's at least where this family of mice is from. This is where they live. And the Polish people are portrayed as pigs, which immediately doesn't sound very flattering. And you'll see my note down here, as brutal, murderous pigs. This caused serious controversy and greatly offended the Polish community. If you look this up right now, you'll find plenty of things on the internet about this. So this is actually on the banned book list. I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the reasons. I'm sure they got a lot of complaints. So that's interesting. And then here you have vocabulary kind of built in on the side with some pictures. Rudolph Valentino, and then you have a picture of him, textiles, the money. So here, these are all just vocabulary words. You don't have to study these beforehand. I would take a look at them beforehand, but you can kind of use this as a guide as you're reading if you come across the word that you're confused about. I bet if you look on this list, you'll find it and get some clarification. A lot of these words are in German or Polish. So I'll do my best to pronounce them. I did try to look up the pronunciation, but I'll do my best while I'm reading. And then I have some maps here. Rego Park, New York is where we're going to start out, and that's in Queens. And then you have a picture of what it looked like in the 40s. So I thought that would be cool to see. And then you have other pictures from the settings, a couple of places in Poland, and I left you the map here as well as some pictures and quick facts on the sides. You have 2 places in Poland. There's another one, and then you have this, Nuremberg, Germany. So those maps are there if you just kind of want an idea of the places, because he's going to travel around during World War II. So you have some kind of idea where things are. And I would suggest, because we have technology, why not? You might be able to just click these, but if you look them up, you can go like a Street View or Google Earth and really see what the places look like. I actually tried that a little bit. It was really interesting. So I would recommend doing that on some of these places in the settings. All right. So I guess that's it. I'm going to post the graphic novel for you. If you're all set to go read the first 4 chapters, you can. You can and should try on your own. I'm going to try to post videos of me reading and just talking about the book. That might take a couple takes, so I don't know how quickly I'll be able to put that up, but shortly. And then probably within the next day or 2, I'll post the quizzes for you and the written response in case you get through it quickly. All right. So please respond to this video with the assignments. What to do on Friday? What do you have to do this week? And also tell me what you've been working on in shop, because I would love to hear about what you're doing in your trades. All right, guys. Have a great week. Reach out if you need any help.